Good morning, happy Thursday. Today I'm going to break down Ardha, baddha, padma, Paschimottanasana. A friend of mine is struggling with one of his hips to open, and as a result it's wearing out his knee. So I've said this before, and I think it's really important to hone in on this fact that your body is always going to find the path of least resistance. So if you don't take the proper actions to work the asana where it's meant to be worked, then over time it's going to just default to a place that's easier. But what happens is we wear out that area. Like this is a perfect example. When we don't open our hips, we take it in the knees. If we don't utilize our upper back, we take it in the lower back, right? So we want to really understand what's going on in every asana so we can prevent problems down the road. And I know that a lot of people think that you have to be flexible to start yoga, but the truth is there are no prerequisites to starting a yoga practice. In fact, sometimes when you're too flexible, that can actually leave you more prone to injury because your body has no boundaries. When you have tightness in an area, that's usually an indication of stop, and that tells you how far you can go. If you're hypermobile, you're actually a little more prone to injury because you have to work extra hard to keep from damaging your joints and ligaments over time. So anyway, what I teach, I learned from a good friend of mine. I've said this before, I don't externally rotate anymore, as much as I possibly can avoid it when I come into an asana. If I can internally rotate from the hip, I'm better off. And why? Because it protects the knee. So what is the difference? Okay, first of all, an external rotation is going to go like this. And I'm actually going to show you a nice hip opener from an external rotation, but we're protecting the knee as we do it. But it's kind of like this. Okay, so it's wide and it, excuse me, I have a cold. It actually wears out the inner knee over time when we do that. Unless you're just really open everywhere, which most of us aren't. So what I do is I internally rotate, meaning that instead of the pelvis coming forward, the pelvis tilts back. I send my sit bones back. That's automatically going to pull the thigh with it, right? So instead of being here and taking it, the stretch this way, I pull my hips back, right? And then I send the stretch actually back here, which is where we want it. To prepare for this pose, if your hips are really tight, right? Okay, here we go. And this, by the way, is a fabulous preparation for Ekapadashirsasana. You're going to take your leg about chest level, heart level, right? We don't want to take the foot, and we don't want to be too high up on the leg because we want to protect the ankle from sickling. We want to keep the joint in its right position and not overly stretching, right? Like that, that's not healthy. So we take it right at the ankle, holding the joint in place, okay? Second thing we do, heel of the hand around the kind of the knee girdle, right? So again, we're protecting that joint. We're not pushing on the joint, we're just underneath, compressing where we need to so that we're not aggravating any of the more vulnerable knee points, all right? From here, we're going to take the foot in and take the knee out, okay? Now, depending on your level of flexibility, that might be enough. If we're too high, we take it more in the IT band. If we're too low, we're just not really getting the stretch. So we want to be in line with this right angle here. Now, you can take it out to the side more, and that'll help open the hip. And in fact, as you progress for your foot behind the head position, this is going to work wonders for you. Now, this is just to open the hip, right? So we're gonna, again, take the foot towards us and the knee away. And you'll feel the stretch, I promise you. This is a very good way to prep yourself. If this is as far as you can go, sit in it, surrender to it, enjoy it, okay? From here, right, send the hips back, okay? And we place the foot on top of the thigh. Now, this knee does not have to come to the floor. That is not necessary. It will happen organically over time. I see a lot of people, they come into it wide, right? And then they go to find the foot and they're like chasing it. Don't chase your foot, right? Bring it up. Try to keep the knee in towards the midline, okay? Because we're trying to work with our bandha. So anytime we take it inward, we're connecting to that bandha energy, and then wrap for the foot, okay? When you, again, when you go chasing it, it goes away from you. So make sure you keep this in mind while you go for the opposite foot, or the foot, whatever. So again, this knee does not have to hit the floor. That'll happen over time. And keep the sit bones moving back, right? Chest moving forward to maintain that internal rotation. One thing that I have found just kind of intuitively, and I know like Mark Roberts actually posted this at one time. You know, when we're working with energy mechanics, we always want to take it in, okay? If energy is spilling out, then we're losing that bandha energy. We want to pull it in. So when in doubt, pull it in towards the midline, okay? And try and harness it and take it up, okay? Again, I know that you're probably familiar with single pigeon, double pigeon to open up the hips, and those are great exercises. But if you're trying to work in the middle of your practice and not disrupt it, you can take a breath or two and just open. Send the hips back, place it down, go for the foot, you're in your asana, all right? I hope that helps. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to message me or comment. I'm always available. Namaste.